This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Do you want to save money on your groceries? Well, it might take looking at the fine print. The Manitoba government says it wants you to get the best bang for your buck and make it easier when looking at your options. It all revolves around forcing grocers to reveal the price per standard unit of measurement, something like 100 grams. But will that actually reduce prices? As the CBC's Ian Fraze tells us, some are skeptical.
It's going to allow the customer to go, per 100 grams, this is $1, this is $1.20 per 100 grams.
Munther Zeed is talking about the tiny price on a label revealing how much something costs per grams or liters. Manitoba wants to make that level of detail mandatory.
The unit pricing will help Manitobans to have clarity on whether they're overpaying.
But Zeed doesn't think it'll work.
They look at the tag, here's the size, here's the price, boom, done, gone. Are they going to stand there and read that this yogurt is 50 cents per 100 ml, this one's 55 cents per 100 ml? No.
Many big grocers already have unit pricing, but Food Fair doesn't. Zeed says adding that price on everything will cost his independent grocer time and money.
You want to bring prices down, I've said it a million times, go after the wholesaler, go after the manufacturers, but they don't want to. Why? Why? Why is it always us, the retailers? It's a bunch of crap.
On Monday, the government promised unit pricing in its new grocery study. It also recommends a grocery store in downtown Winnipeg, but doesn't say if the province would put up money. A food policy expert likes that unit pricing is becoming a requirement.
Quebec adopted a similar law last year, I believe. More clarity at the point of purchase is much better.
Some shoppers go out of their way to compare prices.
Even with my crappy eyes, I have to go down on my hands and knees to see the bottom shelf because it's really, really small.
And it's still worth it for you?
Well, certainly is worth it.
But the opposition PCs say the grocery study is a letdown.
I think unit pricing is a good thing, but it's not making life more affordable for Manitobans.
The government is promising to introduce unit pricing legislation as soon as the fall. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The family of a woman whose rings were stolen off her fingers in a personal care home is fighting for the restitution a judge awarded them. The case dates back to 2019. A worker at the Winnipeg care home stole jewelry from 8 residents living with dementia or Alzheimer's and sold it to a gold buyer. As CBC's Josh Crabb reports, one family is still trying to collect the money the worker was ordered to pay during sentencing.
It's a tattoo of my mom's rings.
The rings stolen off her late mom's arthritic fingers while she was in personal care are now tattooed on Carla Sly's arm. More than 7 years later, Sly is still fighting for restitution from the healthcare aide who was convicted in the theft.
My mom always wanted me to have them, pass them on to my daughter, who was very special to her. So they were very sentimental.
The aide, Anna Mercado, worked at Kildonan Care Home. She pleaded guilty to stealing jewelry, mostly rings, in February and March of 2019 from 86-year-old Ann Kataychuk and 7 other elderly residents who were living with Alzheimer's or dementia.
There's my mom's rings right there.
They were Kataychuk's engagement and wedding rings. Court heard they were sold to a gold buyer and couldn't be recovered. Mercado got sentenced to 1 year in jail and ordered to pay restitution of either $200 or $400 to each victim or their family, depending on what was stolen. Sly got that money, but still hasn't been paid an additional amount ordered by the judge. According to court documents, the victim of the crime is required to collect that money.
Feels like victimizing the victim again.
Mercado was instructed to pay an additional $3,800 to Sly as part of what's called a standalone restitution order. Sly says it's because they were able to use photos to get her mom's rings appraised and submitted the information to the court. Problem is, she didn't know it was her responsibility to collect until 3 years later, and now she has no information on where Mercado is living, working, or where she banks.
Although we are responsible to, to collect, we don't have any resources to do so.
A provincial spokesperson says restitution can be ordered as a condition of a probation order, a conditional sentence order, or a standalone order. If it's not paid, the spokesperson says the victim is entitled to file the restitution order in the civil court and then use the ordinary civil enforcement methods to collect the unpaid amount. It is enforced like a civil judgment owed to the victim.
It's not the money. For me, it's about how victims are treated in our system.
Sly has filed a civil claim in the Court of King's Bench to try and get what her family is owed, but she's not confident she'll ever see the money. Josh Crabb, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A future clinic set to open in the PA is getting a special name in honor of a former MLA. The Premier and Health Minister were in the PA today for the announcement. The future primary healthcare clinic will be named after the late Amanda Laughlin. Laughlin was the first First Nations woman elected to the Manitoba legislature in 2015. The Amanda Laughlin Memorial Clinic will expand access to primary care services for many in the area, bringing care closer to home in the north.
We're not just thinking about what the community needs right now or is going to need during the time that it first opens, but we're thinking about the future of healthcare in the PA and in the north. So we want this to be an innovative facility. We want this to be something that attracts, not only retains, but attracts the best and the brightest in healthcare. So that design work is underway.
The health minister estimates it will open in 2030. A training program in Steinbach is hoping to boost the number of rural nurses in Manitoba. The first 35 nursing students are now halfway done the 2-year program, and already many say they hope to live and work in rural communities. CBC's Christopher Garreau reports.
Haven Group has provided a lab, classroom space, and work experience for Steinbach's first 35 nursing students. Most of the students are from rural communities in southeastern Manitoba.
I live in Steinbach. I want to work in Steinbach as well, but it also is bringing more people to our community, and they might do a practicum here. And let's say they're coming from Winnipeg or another area, and they do a practicum here, and maybe they get hired out of their practicum, then that's bringing more nurses to our area.
Haven Group CEO Tanis Nickel says she approached the college to teach in their Steinbach care homes, as the number of seniors in their care has more than doubled from just a few years ago. The nursing students arrived in September as Haven Group seeks to build another large seniors facility in Steinbach. Nickel says it's easier to keep nurses working in smaller communities if they grew up there.
Recruitment and retention of nurses in the rural area, so Steinbach, Vita, Sprague, home care, Emerson, all these areas, when you are able to support a project of training nurses in a facility close to home, you're going to get more uptake from people in the community.
Assiniboine College lists practical nursing as its largest program, with over 2,500 graduates in just 15 years. The hope is that with rural programs like Steinbach's, there'll be even more nurses trained, and some might choose to stick around town. Christopher Garreau, CBC News, Steinbach.
A prominent Winnipeg judge has been nominated to the Supreme Court of Canada. Manitoba Chief Justice Glenn Joyal, his career spans more than 25 years on the bench, including his most recent role as Chief Justice of the Court of King's Bench in Manitoba since 2011. He's worked to improve access to justice, modernize court operations, and advance reconciliation throughout his career. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Joyal has demonstrated integrity, experience, and sound judgment. The nomination still needs to be reviewed by a committee of parliamentarians. All right, time now to bring Riley in. Riley, a really pleasant day out there in the southern part of the province, but things about to change.
Yeah, things changing quite quickly already, Brittany, in parts of western Manitoba. A special weather statement in place all the way from the Parkland down through Brandon into southwestern Manitoba and stretching eastward into south central parts of the province and the Red River Valley. This is because of an area of low pressure that'll push into the province as we get through the night. Tonight, we're starting to see the beginnings of that already. A general 15 to 30 millimeters across southern Manitoba. Some pockets where up to 50 or even more can be expected in thunderstorms that either move very slowly or stall completely. This is more so in western parts of the province. You can see some of that activity starting to push into southwestern Manitoba and pushing eastward into south central parts of the province. This is all attached to an area of low pressure that's still well over western parts of Saskatchewan. So this will continue pushing eastward as we get through the night tonight and bring a soaking rain to parts of the south as we get through the overnight hours and into the day on Tuesday. So 23 this afternoon in Winnipeg, where we did get into some of that shower activity, 18s, 19s in the west through the afternoon, looking at periods of rain beginning overnight tonight through the Red River Valley. 15 degrees first thing in the morning. We're into the wet weather, Brittany, and things staying wet as we get through the day.
All right. Thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
While the wet weather skeeter season is upon us, how scientists are working to control the population and reduce the spread of deadly disease. That's next. Well, it's finally summer, and with that comes a familiar buzz in the air. And no, not the exciting kind. We're talking about those pesky mosquitoes that breed and thrive in warm, humid weather. Now, scientists are trying to stop or even eliminate those that carry deadly diseases. Cameron McIntosh looks at the science and the ethical questions it raises.
So this is a little mosquito cage.
Steve Wired is taking on the deadliest animal on the planet.
So there are a few hungry females in there.
Using genetics.
Here what we're trying to do is genetically sterilize them in a way by knocking out genes that are essential for their reproduction.
Here in his University of Manitoba lab, he's targeting Aedes aegypti, which carries yellow fever and dengue. It, combined with the malaria-spreading Anopheles gambii and the Asian tiger mosquito, are responsible for killing up to 1 million people each year, while growing increasingly resistant to insecticides, as global climate change broadens their ranges into parts of Europe and North America.
I mean, I wouldn't normally be an advocate for elimination of any species. I think there perhaps is a case here.
Hilary Ranson works in malaria prevention. She sees promise in research that would either eliminate or make problem mosquitoes genetically incapable of carrying disease. Bill Gates and Google are both funding similar research. In Brazil, scientists are releasing bacteria-infected mosquitoes to limit reproduction, all with the goal of preventing disease. Though Ranson concedes, it poses big questions.
It is a bit of a political, regulatory, ethical minefield, to be honest with you.
Don't confuse this with the forever war against the other 95% of mosquitoes, the summer nuisance. Check out this mosquito laser. In Canada, a small number of mosquitoes can transmit West Nile and encephalitis. Larviciding like this in Winnipeg, the most common control.
Each one of those little black dots is a single egg.
Those aren't the target here. But, says Wired, maybe someday.
But you could keep the population suppressed to a nice low level.
Now, most of this is still theory, work in labs, but the science is pushing ahead to control the world's deadliest and arguably most annoying animal. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Imagine working 36 years for your retirement, only for it to be cut short by a mosquito bite. That's the tragic reality for a Toronto family speaking out, hoping to save lives as summer mosquito season gets underway. Karen Pauls has their story.
Brent Sehan loved nature, strolling through Toronto's High Park and taking photos. He just retired after nearly 4 decades when a rare infection took hold.
He celebrated with all his friends outdoors, going to patios, taking walks with them in High Park, and doing all these outdoor things, and that's the thing that got him in the end.
Last July, Toronto public health officials confirmed the first mosquitoes of the season to test positive for West Nile virus. Within weeks, Sehan felt sick with what he thought was just a summer flu, but it rapidly escalated. He died from West Nile encephalitis, a severe inflammation of the brain, one of just 9 Canadians to die of West Nile virus last year.
So the doctor was extremely shocked because it's such a rare thing to get that sick with West Nile. Like only 1% of people get that sick.
While 80% of people infected with the virus show no symptoms at all, men, older adults, and those with underlying health conditions face higher risk for severe infection.
If the virus travels to your brain or your spinal cord, it can cause inflammation, which can then lead to serious complications like high-grade fever, coma, hallucinations, confusion, and potentially even death. No vaccines exist, and there are no specific treatments.
The mosquito season has just begun, and so has West Nile surveillance.
It's typically a combination of factors like weather, bird populations, mosquito abundance, and other local environmental conditions.
Her advice for prevention? Wear light-colored long clothing, use insect repellent, especially at dawn and dusk, and eliminate standing water on your property.
Experts say climate change means disease-bearing mosquitoes will become more common in countries like Canada. Brent Sehan's family hopes their loss will be a cautionary tale for others. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A handful of city-owned properties in Brandon along the Assiniboine River are being protected against future developments. The 5 areas are being added to Manitoba's Protected and Conserved Areas list, meaning they'll be safeguarded from any future development. It ensures Brandon's river corridor continues to provide clean water and healthy ecosystems, along with an accessible outdoor space for the community.
There are stories happening here all the time. There are herons flying overhead. There are beavers. There are
bear walking through. So there is a lot of stories to be told here that people just have to maybe open their eyes to a little bit more to really enjoy.
Two of the areas have been named by a Sioux Valley Dakota Nation elders group to honor Indigenous communities living along the Assiniboine for generations. We're talking about all the wildlife that we see in Manitoba. We saw a family of deers just hanging out along Wellington Crescent.
Just out for a stroll.
Yeah, enjoying watching the runners probably for the Manitoba Marathon and just taking a little break
Wondering
from that
where
heat.
everyone's headed.
Right? So much wildlife getting outdoors. Some probably going to be looking for a little extra cover tomorrow.
Yeah, running away from some of the rain that we're expecting in parts of the south. So let's get right into it. I'm going to show you our upper level pattern because this is what's going to help drive some of that instability as we get through the next couple of days. So we've been under this trough in the jet stream for the last several days now. I mean, sort of more of a zonal flow now with it kind of right along the international border into parts of eastern Canada, but you can see a little bit of that upper level lift over parts of Manitoba, and that is what is going to help fuel some of the isolated thunderstorm activity that we'll see across the province as we get through the next 12 to 24 hours or so. So looking at satellite and radar, you can see, as expected through the day today, the cloud has advanced in some thunderstorm activity popping up along the international border, places like Melita into Boissevain, likely getting into some wet weather or some rumbles of thunder through into the evening hours here. And this is all connected to an area of low pressure that is still west into Saskatchewan. So as the frontal boundary associated with this starts to push its way in, this is where we'll likely get into some heavier pockets of rain, some thunderstorms, and the potential is there for some of these to either be very slow moving or completely stall out as we get through the overnight hours. So that's what could lead to some of those enhanced rainfall amounts as we get through the overnight hours and into the morning on Tuesday. This all pushes eastward as we get through the day tomorrow. So a bit of a wet start to the day tomorrow. I mean, there will be some dry slots in there, but prepare for a damp day right across southern Manitoba as this frontal boundary pushes through. And this could trigger some thunderstorms even into the Red River Valley and parts of the southern Interlake as we get through the back half of the day. So more like an early thing to the west and later in the day further east as this area of low pressure pushes east and south as we get through the day. And even into Wednesday, still likely some scattered precipitation at least early in the day. And then high pressure moves in as we get into Wednesday, Thursday to help dry things out. And that will also help to pull some much warmer air in as we head toward the weekend. So looking at the potential, as expected, 15 to up to 30 millimeters. Pretty generally across the western part of the province. Some pockets in there where we do get into some thunderstorm activity where we could get into the neighborhood of 40 or 50 millimeters of rain. Some of these numbers in the Red River Valley and into southeastern Manitoba do take into account the potential for some of that thunderstorm activity, but I'm thinking it's more like a general 10 to 15 up to 20 millimeters of rain by the time we're around the noon hour into Wednesday. So temperatures through the afternoon, a bit cooler tomorrow, 17 in Winnipeg, 15 in Brandon, looking at things starting to rebound, Brittany, into Wednesday at 22 and up to 25s and 26s by the weekend.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Well, here's a look at some of the festivities in La Broquerie for St. Jean-Baptiste Day over the weekend. Nice turnout. We have much more ahead. Stay with us. A police officer and a civilian have both died after a shooting near downtown Montreal. Authorities say the suspect is also dead. Details of the incident are still unclear, but our colleagues at Radio-Canada have confirmed the suspect left behind a violent manifesto targeting women. The police chief says the suspect moved from one floor in a building to the ground.
We received a 911 call coming from a citizen. So I don't know, but I don't think it was police target, but maybe we'll see what the investigation will tell us. But it was a 911 call from a citizen telling us there's somebody who's shooting from a specific place. And at that moment, when the police came, that person wasn't on the different floors, he was already on the rez-de-chaussée. Then the crossfire starts.
It's the first Montreal police officer fatally shot in the line of duty in 24 years. Witnesses say they heard dozens of shots. A second police officer was also shot, but survived. Meantime, a Montreal family is claiming police abused their power after officers responding to a noise complaint used pepper spray at a birthday party. The cops were apparently from a police station where 16 officers are currently under investigation. Benjamin Schingler reports.
This family held a backyard barbecue last September at their home in Montréal-Nord. The night ended with guests getting pepper sprayed by police and this 77-year-old father in the hospital.
Things escalated so quick that we were scared.
The family says police first arrived at around 9 p.m. for a noise complaint, and they say they cooperated and turned the music down. But an hour later, the police returned, and things deteriorated quickly.
Wow, I got no words for that. I just don't got any words for that because it went, for me, it was not necessary. It was unnecessary for them to do that. A family party, yeah.
Fatsino Estime says his mother, who was celebrating her 74th birthday that day, was injured when she was pushed to the ground by an officer. He says his father was pepper sprayed directly in his eyes and had to be taken to hospital for treatment.
Vraiment, c'est pas normal.
Earlier this month, a $158 noise ticket showed up in the mail. It came from an officer at Station 39. That's the same Montréal-Nord station where 16 officers are now under investigation for alleged racist acts against Black and Arab residents. The scandal has rocked the SPVM, sparked protest, and renewed calls for a deeper look at police practices.
We were not surprised, honestly, because it's been a lot in Montreal-Nord.
Asked about the case, Montreal police said they don't comment on specific incidents to avoid influencing any potential proceedings. Fatsino Estime has filed complaints with both the Quebec Human Rights Commission and the Police Ethics Commission.
If I'm doing this, I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it also for the Montreal North community. So, yeah, I hope that some things will come out of this, yes.
Canada is planning to build up to 10 nuclear reactors over the next 15 years. Officials say construction could cost more than $100 billion. One of the goals of Ottawa's strategy is to boost power to the country's electricity grid.
If our goal is to double our grid and reach net zero by 2050, there is no credible plan for Canada to do that without nuclear energy and the clean, reliable baseload power it provides.
Canada's annual rate of inflation went up 3.2% in May, an increase from 2.8% the month before. The high price of gas was one of the main factors due to the conflict in the Middle East. Grocery prices rose too, especially fruits and vegetables. Tomato prices went up more than 45%. Inflation is now at its highest rate in almost 30 months, above the top of the range set by the Bank of Canada. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is stepping down as head of the UK Labour Party, an announcement that will set off yet another contest for a new PM. It comes as a possible contender officially steps onto the national stage. Briar Stewart reports.
It was obvious change was coming at 10 Downing Street even before Keir Starmer walked out.
The question my party is asking now is whether I am best placed to lead us into the next general election. I have heard the answer, and I accept that answer with good grace.
And just like that, the revolving door of British politics turned once more. In less than 10 years, 6 different prime ministers have resigned. Starmer is the latest. Before that, there was Rishi Sunak, Liz Truss, Boris Johnson, Theresa May, and David Cameron. Starmer's term began nearly 2 years ago after a landslide Labour victory, but then came the political struggles. Among them, his decision to appoint Peter Mandelson, a close friend of Jeffrey Epstein, as UK ambassador to the US. But Starmer's personal style was also a factor. Some called him bland. Did you like him?
I didn't dislike him, but I think he had no, you know what I mean, go, get up and go.
I've heard he's a nice man, and perhaps he is, but as a politician, no, not for me, no.
For others, they believe his government didn't do enough to make the country more livable and affordable.
We hope that the candidate that are going to take his place might have enough power to drive what's needed for the country to move forward.
That I will put myself forward in the
And this man will almost certainly be next in line to lead the Labour Party, Andy Burnham. The former mayor of Manchester was sworn in as a Labour MP after winning a crucial by-election last week.
So help me God.
And his arrival in London was greeted with the type of wall-to-wall media coverage that befits a future PM.
I think Burnham is obviously a better salesman, but the question is whether a better salesman can sell pretty much the same policy offer to the electorate.
If indeed it ends up being more of a coronation, that means that Burnham could be in office in mid-July. Briar Stewart, CBC News, London.
U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance says the peace talks with Iran have set a good foundation for a permanent deal between the two countries. He says Iran has agreed to allow nuclear inspectors back into the country to ensure it is not building a nuclear weapon. As Crystal Gabansing explains, it's an arrangement that seems to mirror an Obama-era deal that Donald Trump previously rejected.
A major milestone is how Vice President J.D. Vance termed the fact that Iran will allow inspectors from the International Atomic Energy Agency into the country. But it is worth noting that there were regular inspections taking place during the Obama-negotiated deal with Iran, the JCPOA. And when U.S. President Donald Trump pulled the United States out of that deal back in 2018, calling it a bad deal, he was also critical of the information gained by the IAEA inspectors, saying they weren't getting enough access. Now, it is unclear with these newly announced inspections if they will have access to disclosed sites, undisclosed sites, as well as any nuclear sites that had been damaged in recent strikes. Now, the vice president said the talks in Switzerland are like building a house.
The way that I think about it is very simple. We laid a very good foundation for a successful final deal. The final deal is the house. We set the foundation. We haven't built the house, but we've laid a successful foundation to get to a good place for the American people.
During those talks, mediated by Pakistan and Qatar, the two sides also agreed to working groups to ensure the Strait of Hormuz is able to open and will remain open despite any potential flare-ups in the future, and a similar working group to deal with the issues in Lebanon to ensure that there is a ceasefire and that it is maintained, and that if there are any conflicts between Hezbollah and Israel, it doesn't escalate further. Now, the vice president has said he wants to see peace in Lebanon that not only respects Israel's ability to defend itself and ensure the safety of those residents in the north, but also respects the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Lebanon. How that will be accomplished has yet to be worked out. Crystal Gabansing, CBC News, Jerusalem.
Much of Europe is already under a heat wave as summer kicks off. Millions of people are experiencing extreme hot weather. There have been more than a dozen heat-related deaths. Anand Ram has the details.
As Europeans swelter under a heat wave, even attempts to cool off have cost lives. French authorities say drownings are up as people seek relief, with 13 deaths this weekend alone including children who couldn't handle river currents. It's an oppressive start to summer across the continent. From Paris to Seville to Munich, people managed however they could.
And we made this wet. Yeah, a scarf, make it wet.
Wet?
And it helps.
Temperatures approached unbearable levels, reading into the mid-40s in Madrid. Little relief for those who have to be outside, other than to keep water close at hand. But if you have to go because of work, you go. What can we do? Air conditioning is still a rarity in Europe, even in schools. Across France, more than 1,300 were closed, and here's why.
It's called an omega block. There's a kind of a bulge in the pressure field with this sort of hot air sitting underneath it and cooler air on either side.
In other words, a heat dome fueled by hot winds from Africa, parking itself over Western and Central Europe. And climate change is making matters worse.
When we have a heat wave, we're now seeing temperatures in Europe that are 2 to 4 degrees higher than would have been the case without human-caused warming.
This heat is expected to last well into the week, with the added danger that nighttime temperatures aren't that much better, meaning more deaths may be ahead. Anand Ram, CBC News, Toronto.
A show of pride and culture. How Winnipeg celebrated the 30th National Indigenous Peoples Day. More on that after the break. Stay with us. Communities across Canada celebrated the 30th National Indigenous Peoples Day, a day meant to honor the culture, histories, and contributions of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. It was a show of pride and culture that brought out dancers to a powwow in Winnipeg. The CBC's Santiago Arias Orozco was there.
A day of jubilation. Regalia on vibrant display as the powwow began at the Forks. Heritage once stripped away, now held with pride. People coming together, their culture alive.
That's what we're doing here today. It's passing on a tradition for our future, our little ones to grow up and dance and be proud of where they come from.
First Nations, Métis, and Inuit honored during National Indigenous Peoples Day on Sunday. A multi-generational crowd, the dancing became healing for some.
It brought me close, to my people, and really helped me connect with my culture.
And for others, created new family traditions.
I haven't really been to powwows when I was younger, but we're going to do our best to bring him to every powwow out here.
The summer solstice also bringing Indigenous people together for prayers. But through the weekend, there were also moments to acknowledge the hardships they've endured and building new bridges and institutions like the military.
Racism is alive and well, just not as prominent as it was back in my day. We're all wearing the same uniform.
Sunday was also a day to honor those who never returned home from residential schools and remember of the work still needed in the path towards reconciliation.
As people heal, I hope that those will come, that families will again be families, as families with their children growing up with their parents and learning how they need to live as First Nations people.
Marking 30 years of this day, a message from the Assembly of First Nations. It says today should be a moment of celebration, but also of accountability to push for better living conditions, education, and infrastructure for all Indigenous people across Canada. Santiago Arias Orozco, CBC News, Winnipeg.
This weekend saw the return of Nickel Days in Thompson, an annual festival held every June. It's coming back after a year away. CBC's Eric Westhaver reports.
Northern Manitoba's biggest summer festival is back in Thompson. Nickel Days made its return this weekend, entertaining all ages in the hub city.
Over 15,000 people will take part in at least one event during Nickel Days, whether it's a Saturday night social, whether it's the King Miner competition, or whether it's the fairground here. This place has been a hive of activity all weekend, a far cry from how it was this time last year.
Wildfires caused tens of thousands of Northerners to flee their homes. Many came to Thompson for shelter. Venues that usually hosted the festival were used to house people in need. Nickel Days 2025 was canceled. This year, the party is back. Board President Jennifer Thackeray says she's happy the circumstances have changed.
People realize that they missed it a lot last year, and so they'll appreciate it more, hopefully. But it is definitely good to kind of get back to having a festival again and get back, hopefully, to somewhat normal.
Part of the festival is crowning the King Miner, the best of the best at various underground skills. This year's honorary King Miner is Terry Royal. He's worked nearly 50 years in mines around Thompson.
There's a lot of people that I know that have been chosen to do it, and some of them have been my mentors, and it's kind of cool to be in the same category as them.
Everyone coming onto the grounds has their faves, but they're pleased to see people back having fun.
Nickel Days bring so much people together, and it's nice to see our community all together.
I think I enjoy the most about this is probably just how everyone here in the community is really enjoying it, and it's a really fun thing to do with everyone in general.
The North needs a less frantic summer than last year. This is a good start, a sign that life in this region is slowly getting back to normal. Eric Westhaver, CBC News, Thompson.
A section of Corden Avenue is going car-free on Sundays this summer to encourage people to come celebrate the Strip. Starting on July 5th, Corden will be closed down between Lilac and Daly Streets on Sundays between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. It will allow restaurants to extend their patios onto the streets, and people can walk through a car-free area. It's the latest move from the Corden Avenue Business Improvement Zone to bring people to one of the city's most walkable streets.
blocking off the edges of streets and having small pocket concerts going on Fridays and other days during the week. So I think this is an evolution, some ways going forward and some ways looking back at the history that Winnipeggers will come to court in and spend part of a day enjoying the street.
Marked detours for motorists will be in place during the closures. Car-free Sundays will run until September 6th. All right, Riley, back in. I'm sure lots of people are going to be taking in those car-free days. You already see it down Wellington and those other streets during the summer that are closed down. Lots of cyclists, lots of people walking with their dogs. And
bring so much activity out.
It just makes the city feel alive.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be great to get your dogs out there too. Keep them on their leash though. Don't want anybody running free. That segues me kind of, I guess. That was a bad way of doing that into the dog walking forecast. And how about Kiki tonight, who really looks like she enjoys her nature walks. Thank you, Elizabeth and Ron, for sending this picture in. Boxer mix, and I'm sure. Well, it might be a bit wet for that walk tomorrow, so just keep that in mind. Risk of thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. Send your pictures to talkback@cbc.ca. Looking at temperatures topping out around 17 degrees. I've put that at 4 p.m. I actually think that high likely will be closer to the early afternoon. Then we'll see things falling off slightly as we get into the evening hours, but things breezy as we get through the day. Southeast, I should say, 20 gusting to 40. I was talking about the risk of thunderstorms through the day tomorrow, and that could enhance some of those rainfall amounts that we see, particularly south of the Trans-Canada Highway. So the greatest risk will be into south central parts of the province, Morden, Winkler, Emerson, Winnipeg included in this, although right on the edge of the greatest risk for thunderstorms tomorrow. The main threats tomorrow being some strong wind gusts, some heavy downpours up to 30+ millimeters at times, and small hail could be seen as well, nickel to quarter size. So not large hail by any means, but certainly something to be aware of if you're going to be outdoors for any period tomorrow. Or maybe you got to cover up your plants as well. So looking at the forecast overnight tonight, 13s, 14s through the Red River Valley, 12 degrees in the western part of the province. We'll see that rain starting to push through as we get through the overnight hours. Single digits into northern Manitoba, 9 for Thompson, 8 Gillam into Shamattawa. Partly to mostly clear skies, and this actually sets up northern Manitoba for a fairly pleasant day tomorrow. I mean, partly to mainly sunny skies through Thompson, 24 tomorrow afternoon, 24 in Gillam, 26 in Shamattawa, where we do see a little bit more cloud cover, things slightly cooler. Grand Rapids, 20, the PA OCN around 22 degrees into the afternoon. And looking at southern Manitoba, where we'll be into the rain as the front associated with this area of low pressure pushes through. Looking at temperatures, I think that these are likely high temperatures around the lunch hour or very early afternoon for much of southern Manitoba. We'll see the winds picking up along with this, and comes that chance of some isolated thunderstorms as we head through the afternoon hours tomorrow into the Red River Valley, earlier into parts of western Manitoba, Brittany. So looking like a pretty wet day for most of us, although there likely will be some dry spots in there as well.
All right, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
A Winnipeg church marked its 100th birthday with a celebration of love. The All Saints Anglican Church put out an open call for anyone, no matter where they were married, to come and renew their vows. CBC's Gavin Axelrod takes us to the ceremony.
These are some of the photos from our wedding day, and this is me coming down the aisle with my dad.
Kelly and David Eisbrenner look back at their wedding at the All Saints Anglican Church 13 years ago.
Now joining hands together.
On Saturday, they renewed their vows ahead of their anniversary.
When you get married, you're looking to the future. That's really unknown, but when you renew your vows, you have some experience in your relationship, in your marriage, and now we have kids, and so I think it's going to mean something really different.
But it wasn't just their vow renewal ceremony. The church is celebrating a century of being in its building on Broadway and 100 years of weddings. They put out an open call for anyone, no matter where they were married, to renew their vows here.
It's pretty amazing just to be able to, like, we had our wedding here, we haven't been to many other weddings here, so just to see like the history and like the lives that have come through here is going to be really special.
Jeff Brandt and Michelle Strumecki heard about the event and had never been to the church.
I thought it'd be really symbolic and interesting to renew our vows today, and then in 3 weeks we're moving back to British Columbia, and Jeff is retiring from his job here.
They say it's also special to renew their vows before starting their next chapter together.
Our time in Winnipeg has been great, challenging, but very memorable, and this will be a great way to kind of
cap it off.
I actually got married in January. So
Organizer Joy Peters says there's been over 2,000 weddings at the church. One was her own. Some of that history was on display for the ceremony.
we hear a lot of statistics about, 50% of marriages end in divorce and things like that. And I think it's really important to celebrate the fact that there are so many marriages that last for a very long time.
Peters hopes another event like this is held 100 years from now, so people can come celebrate their love for each other and even more history. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Still ahead, how one kid is taking over runways in the City of Lights. That's next. Plus, Riley's back with the last check on our forecast. Stay with us.
All right, always interesting to take a look back on the years gone by, and it was on this day 19 years ago that we saw Canada's only F5, or what we now know as EF5 strength tornado. This was, of course, the one that hit Eli back on June 22nd of 2007. So next year being the 20th anniversary of that event. Several homes destroyed from that tornado. The silver lining, no injuries reported, no deaths, but the power of Mother Nature wins at least 420 kilometers an hour. I'm not looking at whether that volatile as we get through the day tomorrow, but looking at wet conditions across southern Manitoba, 17 by the afternoon. And then we warm up from there, up to 25s, 26s by Thursday, Friday, and things hanging around the mid-20s as we start the weekend. 10-year-old Max Alexander is the world's youngest fashion runway designer. That's according to the Guinness Book of World Records, so it's official.
Official. But he said his dream to be a dressmaker started at the age of 4. Max is tonight's Daily Lift.
Being the youngest fashion designer to debut at Paris is very fun. When everybody started clapping when I came out, it was very, like all these people appreciate me and I should be very grateful for that. I started at the age of 4 designing, but like I didn't look at any fashion. I was not into fashion. I did not have a dream about fashion. My favorite part about making fashion is all the ideas you can have. It's like the creativity is unlimited. You could use any fabric, any material. My fashion ideas come from like the environment around me. That's busted. I really hope that like more people see the cause of what they are doing and how fast fashion is also littering our planet, and like how consumers have to buy things they will wear for a long time and not like for 1 or 2 weeks and then they throw it away. Think, drape, sew, done, voila. It's called the dress cycle.
Max, you want her to turn? Not too much?
I like it. He's just voila. That's it. At 10 years old, debuting at Paris Fashion Week. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, at 10 years old, I was riding my bike outside.
Yeah, I don't think my coloring really came to life like his
me
is.
neither.
Incredible for him. Have a wonderful evening. Stay dry tomorrow. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.